I start on my time. Nobody tells me when to start talking. I talk when I'm ready to talk. Yeah, nobody tells me to talk. I start when I want to start. I talk on my time. I talk on my time, not when you want me to talk. This is my channel, my stream. I can do what the hell I want. Ladies and gentlemen, Dynamite this week was pretty good. It was not too bad. This week's episode of Dynamite was better than this week's episode of Elevation and Dark combined. We don't know how Rampage is going to be yet. Daniel Bryan versus Jon Moxley is apparently set for next week's Grand Slam, I believe. Jamie Hayter is going to eventually get her revenge on Britt Baker. I think she rightfully should, because I think that was bullcrap for Britt Baker to cost her the pin. Oh, and Jon Moxley versus Sammy Guevara was very, very good. I don't know which match was better, man. I don't know if Daniel Bryan versus Chris Jericho was better, or Jon Moxley versus Sammy Guevara was better. Well, I know Dynamite was a good show. I know that. And I also have some news coming out of Dynamite on a former WWE star making AEW debut during Dark Elevation tapings. And I have some news on Warner Bros. Discovery. I have some news on that. And I have some news on the name of Stokely Holloway's stable. We're going to go over all that, plus your news on AEW Grand Slam, as well as AEW lifting suspensions for everyone who tried to break up all-out media scrum brawl. We're going to go over all that news right after the review. We're not going to go over it right away, because first I want to do the review before I go over the news coming out of this show. I'm IWN, of course, we're live for Dynamite. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications so you don't miss a single watch-along review that goes live each and every single week. You can follow me on Instagram, you can add me on Facebook and Snapchat. Links to all my accounts are in the description below. And I have my Friday Night SmackDown watch along already scheduled for this Friday night. So be sure you go check that out and get that a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And I'm going to have my other live stream scheduled for Saturday. I'm going to go over who Jamie actually is and why the original plan should have been Thunder Rosa defending her AEW World Women's Championship against Jamie Hayter. It's going to be a good one. And then I'm going to be live with AEW WWE Sunday Night News live stream episode 1. So we're basically going to go over news coming out at the end of this week and the news going into that week, next week. And so much more, folks. You know, I try my best to do what I can to give you all the content that you want, content that you want to see, and the content that you want to hear. It's pretty much what I'm here for, man. That's legitimately one of the reasons why I have this YouTube channel. And so I could be able to stream games that you want to see as well. Because I truly care about what content people want, you know. Never say I don't care, because I truly do care. Now, we're going to go ahead and get to the review. I'm not going to waste anyone's time here because it is 11:19 and it is getting ready to be 12 o'clock in the morning in about probably a few hours. So I don't care who's here and who's not here. I'm beginning the review. I can do the review without audience. I can do the review with audience. Either way, I don't care. This review is specifically for people who want to hear my thoughts on Dynamite and for people who missed Dynamite, who didn't get to watch Dynamite. That's specifically what these Dynamite reviews are for. Anyway, so if you watch Dynamite, if you already know the results, good for you. This is not for you. If you haven't watched Dynamite and you don't know the results, well, this is for you. This review is specifically for you. Now, Moxley kicked off the show to a big pop as he came out for the first match of the night against Rivera. The former TNT champion tried to play some mind games by exiting the ring before Moxley could get his hands on him, but he could only stall for so long. Surprisingly, the first striking exchange saw Rivera beat down the former AEW champion in the corner. But Moxley fired back with one huge clothesline to take him down. Most of the match was relatively competitive, with both guys getting in some good offense. But Mox defiantly had the upper hand more during the second half. Now, Anna Jay and Tay Miller both came down to give Rivera an unfair advantage, but the 36-year-old prevailed and scored the win to advance to the next round of the tournament. It was fun, energetic, way to get the show off to a good start. So, what that pretty much tells you right there is that AEW Dynamite kicked off with Sammy Guevara versus Jon Moxley. You want to talk about moments, you want to talk about observation, you want to talk about great things that happened in this match. Let's talk about the fact that Guevara stomping Moxley's head into the steel steps was a good-looking spot. Now, the double springboard cutter Guevara hit in this match is more than likely one of the best executions of that move he has had in a while. It's one of those moves that can go wrong in so many little ways. But this one looked good. It really did. There was no one questionable apron spot when Guevara's head hit the mat in a bad way. A very, very bad, terrible way. But he seemed totally fine after it was over. Toni Schiavone, specifically, nothing noting. He specifically noted how basically happy he was that he did not have to see Sammy make out with Mello this week was hilarious. Rightfully so, it was. So was William Ringo asking if he would be canceled for calling Tay and Jay whore. So that's top moments that you're going to get right there. So we go from that to the Jungle Boy versus Jay Lethal match. It wasn't all that bad, but it had a little bit of bad things in the match. Not that much. I mean, NJF did come out and give a scathing promo directed at Jon Moxley. That was one of the best promos that MJF's ever given at AEW. It's not often you see many stars such as MJF giving promos like that. He specifically mentioned Moxley going to rehab for alcohol several times before saying he should take that vacation he was planning on, which is a reference to the fact that Moxley was apparently not booked for the post All Out shows until the backstage incident that changed a lot of plans eventually brought out Stuff Lee Holloway and his new group, The Firm. Ethan Page, the Gun Club, Lee Moriarty, and Marcy were all present. Holloway then gave a long promo to discuss the group and its intentions. He spoke about each member of the group with mixed reactions from the crowd. This segment succeeded in introducing the Firm, but it definitely won't be thought of as the most memorable introduction of a stable. It was good, but not good. I just said it in the beginning. I just said that this match between Jungle Boy and Jay Lethal was not that bad. It had some bad things. It was bad, but it wasn't that bad. You know, the segment wasn't that bad either. I mean, it was a little bad, but not that bad. Sorry, guys. A little tired. Sleepy, man. Jungle Boy issued an open challenge that was answered by Jay Lethal. In a pre-match promo, Sanjay Dutt went a little nuts, hyping his friend Dutt and Satnam Singh were both at ringside, so JB was immediately at a disadvantage. These are two guys who are known for speed and agility. So they did not work a slow, methodical pace. They didn't rush as much as you might think. Though it was a steady pace that allowed bigger moves to be sold with more than one quick factual expression of pain. Now, the 25-year-old was fighting as the underdog for much of the match, but he began to build. He began to build up a head of steam after the commercial break, after managing to fend off Lethal's buddies. Jungle Boy was able to get the victory with his signature snub trap submission. This match was pretty much a nice win for Jungle Boy. I gotta admit, that Jungle Boy Christian match was fucking terrible. I mean, I know why that match lasted for like 15 seconds. It's because of Christian's injury. Christian Cage was injured, which I can understand that, but still, if Christian Cage was injured, that match should have never been produced for All Out in the first place. It didn't make sense to produce that match after the fact that Christian Cage was injured, you know. I wish Christian best luck, and hopefully he comes back healthy. Now, some people felt should have gone the other way. The win track after his loss to Christian at All Out. That's what I'm seemingly referring to here. Now, that is wild, and I guess it's hilarious. It wasn't hilarious to me. It might be hilarious to some of you, but even if Cena and Lethal move on from this group at some point, AEW should keep him as a manager for someone else. The Russian leg sweep from the middle turnbuckle looked great. Absolutely great. Now, it's one of those moves that always looks like it will hurt the person doing it just as much as the person taking it. Jungle Boy attempting to use the kill switch was a nice little way to keep that feud with Christian in people's minds. Jungle Boy has gotten much better at selling. Hell, he's almost better than Ricochet selling since he first joined AEW. He has a good expression of pain now. So we go from that to Powerhouse Hobbs versus Matt DiMartino. I don't know who DiMartino is. And then we got Lucha Bros versus Swerve in Our Glory to go over after that. So Powerhouse Hobbs took on a young man by the name of Matt DiMartino. Who is Matt DiMartino? Does that name ring a bell to anybody that's watching the review? Anybody? Anybody recognize that? Anybody ever heard of that name? I know I have it. I know I have it, man. Never, ever in my life have I heard that name until now. Never in my million years. Now, this was a squash match that was designed to make Hobbs look strong. But putting him in the ring with somebody who is literally half his size is not basically as, effective as once was for building up a star. Now, Hobbs is great. He's great here. But, AEW doesn't need to put him in the ring with jobbers to make him look good. I mean, why don't you book him? Why don't you put him in the next feud instead of booking him in squash matches? I don't think he needs to be booked in squash matches every single week on Rampage or Dynamite. It's time for him to move on to his next feud. He's defeated Ricky Starks. Put him in the next feud, man. I could see him feuding with Lance Archer. I could see him feuding with guys like Brian Cage. We have yet to see a feud between Powerhouse Hobbs and Brian Cage. I would love to see that next. That should be the next feud going forward for Powerhouse Hobbs. Brian Cage. So we may see Brian Cage on TV again sooner rather than later. And if we see him on TV again, that means he's on there for one reason, and that's to feud with Powerhouse Hobbs as a babyface. I'm interested. I'm looking forward to seeing that, man. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Brian Cage, man. Take my money. That'd be a great match. That would be an absolute banger. You know how Sheamus on Twitter, he tweets out bangers at the bangers at the bangers. You know how Sheamus said that in the ring on SmackDown? Yeah. You don't talk about a banger. That's going to be a banger right there. Two powerhouses going at it, man. That's better than Braun Strowman versus Omos. Jesus Christ, nobody wants to see Braun Strowman versus Omos. No. We don't want to see Ree versus Omar. No. We don't see that. So, as I was saying, folks, Hobbs is great, yeah, but AEW doesn't need to put him in the ring. Good job. Good. There are plenty of people in the full-time roster who could put him over. He could quick promo after the match, so he could bring about beating Ricky Starks in less than 5 minutes at All Out. Starks came through the crowd and ended up fighting with Hobbs to send him out of the ring. The former FTW champion posed for the crowd, but kept it simple. He kept it simple. He wanted to look serious and did a good job of it. So, the stuff happened after it was over was a nice, quick way to keep this program going. So, the next matchup was a tag bout between AEW Tag Team Champions Swerve and Keith Lee. Swerve in Our Glory. The 2/3 of the AEW Trios champions, the Lucha Bros. As expected, Swerve took care of the fast-paced spots with Rey Fenix and Penta, while Lee used his power to throw the luchadors around a bit. However, the masked competitors were able to keep the big man on defense for a stretch during the commercial break. Something SmackDown needs to cut out on. Something SmackDown needs to stop giving us every week, commercial breaks. They give us 6, 7 commercial breaks a week, man. That's enough. We don't need all those commercials. Come on. Enough with that. Like, who wants to see commercials on a Friday night? Come on. Pretty sure nobody. This was much easier to follow than a lot of AEW's tag matches. So, we did not see nearly as many sequences that involve the illegal partners being in the ring for too much time as we usually would. Now, that stuff still happened, but it was kept at a reasonable level after a competitive fight. The limitless one, Keith Lee, hit Penta with a huge slam to win the match and retain the tag titles. Now, I don't think it would have made sense for the Lucha Bros to win, so I think this was the right call, the right decision, and the right creative decision by AEW to have Swerve in Our Glory retain over the Lucha Bros. I mean, given that the Lucha Bros are already Trios Tag Team Champions, I don't think it makes sense to put those AEW Tag Team titles on the Lucha Bros. The Lucha Bros are former AEW Tag Team Champions. They don't need another AEW Championship ring. I'm talking about an AEW Tag Team Championship ring. They need a Trios Championship ring, but they don't need no AEW Tag Team Championship ring. They're already former AEW Tag Team Champions. Cut the shit, man. Like, really. Good match, though. Good match. Man, that freaking power driver from Penta to Keith Lee, that was incredible. You want to talk about power. Penta's not only fast in the ring, he has power too, man. He can lift up guys such as Keith Lee, man. He powerhouse himself. Penta is. He can high fly and he can be a powerhouse. He can lift a 300-something pound guy. Man. That's how good Penta is. Don't forget that, folks. Now, Swerve is much stronger than he looks. There was a spot where he picked Phoenix up off the mat. Like, it was pretty much basically nothing. Lee throwing Phoenix into the ring to break up Penta's pin was a great movement. It was a great moment, man. Phoenix springboard Spanish fly. Phoenix springboard Spanish fly is always impressive. As usual. Nothing surprising. It should be surprising to anyone here watching, man. Yeah, damn sure ain't surprising to me. So. Anyways, we move on to the 2-on-2 women's tag team match. We got Toni Storm, the AEW Interim Women's World Champion. Somebody that should be AEW Interim World Women's Champion. Somebody that should have been AEW Interim Women's World Champion is Jamie Hayter. Someone that should have been AEW Interim Women's Champion. What if I told you that there was a rumor that Jamie was going to win that match? What if I tell you that that rumor was debunked days later? I think the reason why Jamie Hayter should have won that match is because it would have been 100% been the right creative decision and the right move. I don't think it was the right creative decision, the right move to put the title on Toni Storm. I just don't think so. Don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of Toni Storm too. She is great at what she does in the ring. Her entrance is great, but they made a huge, terrible decision putting that title on Toni Storm. I'm sorry, man. I'm just telling it like it is. I think Jamie Hayter deserved it more than Harashida, Toni Storm, and Britt Baker combined. Jamie Hayter worked so hard to get to the top until that point. She worked so hard. She was built up nicely and everything. It's kind of funny how she's built up nicely when I don't see her getting used on Elevation and Dark. When are we going to see Jamie Hayter on AEW Dark Elevation and AEW Dark? When? I have yet to see her on both of those shows. I've seen her on Dynamite Rampage, but I have yet to see her on Dark and Elevation. That's strange, man. That's weird to me. They're keeping all these top heels and top baby faces off of Elevation and Dark television, man. I don't get it. I don't get why they're doing that. Every single talent on the AEW men and women's roster should be on Dark and Elevation and should be used correctly. And their matches should be booked correctly on Elevation and Dark. Enough with these squash matches. We need competition, real competition. We need competition matches. We need real professional wrestling, real action. We don't need them there 1-2 minute squash matches. That's not going to draw audience. What's going to draw audience is competitive matches. What's going to draw audience is real matches. What's going to draw audience is booking a top babyface versus a top heel. You know, matches like that. That's what will draw audience in. Booking a babyface versus a babyface, heel versus a heel is necessarily not going to draw audience. Producing a terrible show is not going to draw audience. Booking terrible matches is not going to draw audience. None of that stuff's going to draw audience. What's going to draw audience is producing these shows correctly, writing these shows correctly, making sure that the talent have the right character gimmicks, something they can go by, something they can remember, and make sure your talents are 100% healthy. And make sure they know what they're doing in the ring. And make sure their theme songs and their theme entrances are spot on great. Mainly make sure you're creatively producing and writing these shows, man. Because if these shows are not produced and write correctly, then you are 100% not going to get the audience that you wish for, that you want. If the matches are not booked right, you're definitely not going to get any audience. You're definitely not going to gain any ratings or viewers, for that matter. I feel like I'm saying all this over and over again. I'm just trying to tell y'all the truth, man. All these people in the wrestling community are not the only smart ones that know about wrestling. I know about wrestling too myself. I know more about wrestling than you think. I know more about creative than you think. At first, when I started doing reviews, I didn't know. Now I know. Now I know, man. And it's great to know the shows better. It's great to know when AEW and WWE are terribly producing and writing shows. It's great to know when they're rightfully producing and writing shows. It's great to know when they're booking the right stuff and booking the wrong stuff too. It's great to know who your favorite female and male superstars are. It's great to know who your favorite character gimmick is. It's great to know what your favorite theme song is or your favorite theme entrances. I can tell you one of my favorite theme songs in AEW is Serena Deeb's theme music. And another one is Athena's. Both of their theme musics are dope, man. Really. But anyhow, we got this 2-on-2 women's tag team match that took place on Dynamite. I said Dark. Good Lord. Even though I went live with the Dark Watch Along, I'm saying Dark. Lord, not Dark. We're not reviewing Dark. We're reviewing Dynamite IWN. Oh, jeez. Jeez. What's wrong with me today, man? What's wrong with me tonight? I don't get it. The women's division was featured in a tag team bout this week with Storm and Athena taking on Baker and Deeb. There was a lot of talk before the match about how Jamie Hayter was not getting along with DMD. The Professor and the AEW Women's Champion started for their teams. It had a nice exchange of quick takedowns and counters before it evolved into a pretty much chopping battle in the corner. Similar to that Eddie Kingston versus Ishii match that took place on the AEW All Out pay-per-view. That was a great match between Eddie Kingston and Ishii, man. Holy snap. And both of their darn chests were red, too. I couldn't imagine being in the ring and being given a chop to my chest, man. That stuff hurts. Both teams had sequences when they were in control, but the heels really began to control the pace after the commercial break. So, Storm took the brunt of their offense and ended up eating the pin when Deeb shoved her into a chair. Breaker was holding, Rebuild distracted the ref. Pretty much. So Athena came in hot after the match and attacked both women, but DMD drilled her with a super kick and a stomp. Hayter ran to the ring and ripped a chair from Baker's hand, but then she used it on Storm herself. It looks like she is still made at Baker, but she didn't attack. She didn't attack her for some reason. I don't know why. She should have. She really should have, man. She cost her the biggest pin of her career. So if somebody costs you the biggest pin of your career, are you going to freaking retaliate? Are you going to get your revenge? Heck yeah, I would. Somebody cost, if I was pinning somebody in the ring, heck yeah, I'd get my revenge a few weeks later. Jamie Hayter should have hit Britt Baker with that steel chair, man. I'm telling you, man. But see, Britt Baker didn't really hit Jamie Hayter. She just bumped into her, moved her to break up the pin. Britt Baker didn't really beat her up and beat her down. So I can see why Jamie Hayter didn't hit Britt Baker with a steel chair. But still, I still would have hit her with it, though. Given that she tweeted all that stuff about Thunder Rosa, saying that Thunder Rosa sandbagging in some of her matches and stuff. Come on, man. None of that's even true. Britt Baker is just being a political bitch. That's what she's being. She's being a political bitch. She is legitimately being a political bitch, man. Seriously. She needs to stop it. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she did on Twitter. She knows what she's been tweeting out about Thunder Rosa. And she seemingly deletes all her tweets. As if she's scared. As if she's scared that everybody's going to tee it. She needs to stop and take this freaking L. Because she knows that everybody in the community saw her tweets about Thunder Rosa. She knows that. She knows that, man. She knows it. Why would Britt Baker be so scared to tweet something out about Thunder Rosa and then delete it? Goes to show you how fucking pathetic Britt Baker is, man. Seriously. Britt Baker is really showing her true colors. And I don't think Adam Cole's not seeing it. I don't think Adam Cole's seeing it. I think Adam Cole's seeing it and says, oh, she's just bringing Britt Baker. You know how Britt Baker is, you know. Seriously, Adam Cole needs to talk some sense into his wife, man, for real. She's not doing so good. She is angering half of the community right now. After breaking up that pin. After angering Jamie Hayter, too. Jamie Hayter is still mad about that Fatal 4-Way match. I don't blame her, dude. I don't blame her. Jamie Hayter should have been the one to win and become the AEW. But I will explain this Saturday afternoon when I go live on YouTube. And I will explain who Jamie Hayter actually is. And I'll explain to you the championships that she's won too in certain wrestling promotions. Anyhow, Athena did come in hot after the match and attacked both women. DMD drilled her with a face super kick, a stomp. Hayter ran down to the ring and ripped a chair from Baker's hand. She used it on Storm herself. It looks like she is still mad at Britt Baker, but she's still mad at Britt Baker, but she didn't attack her for some reason. I don't know where I got made from. But anyway, this match was good. But the stuff with Storm and Deeb honestly was the best part. Legitimately. Now, they have good chemistry and will likely be even better the next time they work together. I could see Serena Deeb being Toni Storm's next feud going forward. I could see Toni Storm feuding Deeb next. That gives Toni Storm somebody to feud with, man. That gives Serena Deeb something to do rather than being used on Dark and Elevation all the time. It's time for other male and female talents to be used now. Stop using the same male and female talents. It's time to start. It's time to start seeing new upcomers. Younger talent. You know, younger talent like Sky Blue, Manny Rakowski. People that young. Now, Storm seems to have had bad luck with tag team partners recently. I wonder why. It's because she's been thinking about that Thunder Rosa Britt Baker backstage heat that's been spreading across the IWC community. The news has been spreading across all social media. I don't know, man. I don't know. Athena was selling a knee injury really well throughout the match when Baker went to Irish whip her. It looked like she really buckled and fell to the mat. The way Deeb took Athena down for an armbar looked great. Deeb withstanding kicks and punches from Athena to keep Storm locked in a single leg Boston Crab was awesome. It's absolutely brilliant. That's the type of matches that WWE needs to produce right there. That's the type of women's matches we need to be seeing on WWE television, which we are not so far, and that's not good. WWE needs to do better producing women's matches on television. They really do. Do better with booking women's matches, man. Because if you're not doing better, that's going to look bad on you. And it's not going to sit happy with the audience either. You may even lose a lot of audience down the road, along the way. So, they just got to do better. Meanwhile, AEW is producing some of the best women's matches that we've seen so far. And they need to keep it up. So we got an all-out rematch this week when Jericho and Danielson met in an AEW Championship tournament bout in the main event. So pretty much both men got the desired reactions when they came out, but Jericho played more to the crowd while Danielson kept it simple with one pose in the corner. So as soon as the bell rang, Danielson backed Jericho to the corner and unloaded on him with chops and kicks. He did not let up on the Wizard. So Jericho had no chance. He had no choice. He had no chance, but he had no choice also but to fight back with some chops of his own. The American Dragon fought through them and maintained control for quite some time. The middle and final portions of the match were more evenly split between them. At one point, Jericho suplexed Danielson out of the ring and he crashed down hard on his left foot. The former AEW champion seized the opportunity to focus on the injury by wrapping him around ring post for a figure four. So he put Danielson in the, I guess, lion's armor or whatever it is. But he eventually switched to just wrenching on the injured leg instead of both. The American Dragon was able to get him into the label lock for the submission victory. Putting two veterans like this in the ring together is practically a guaranteed receipt for success. And it's a great treat for the crowd as well. For the AEW fans, Moxley came out to congratulate Danielson on his win, but also acknowledged that they will be opponents for the title in the finals of the tournament next week. So Jon Moxley versus Daniel Bryan, as I have in the title, is set for next week's Grand Slam. That is going to be a phenomenal match, even though it doesn't make sense because they're both baby faces. Again, I question AEW on this. Why would you book a babyface versus another babyface? Why would you put two top babyfaces against each other, man? Why? Why are we getting, what's the reason why we're getting Jon Moxley versus Daniel Bryan? We could have got Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley instead of Jon Moxley versus Daniel Bryan. That would have made more sense. That would have made more sense than Daniel Bryan versus Jon Moxley. Daniel Bryan and Jon Moxley, once again, are both babyfaces. You don't book a babyface against another babyface. That makes no sense. I am sick and tired of AEW and WWE doing that. That is ridiculous. And they are still doing that to this day. Why are they going with that shit? Why are they doing that? Why? And why are they booking heel versus a heel? They're still doing that too, booking a heel versus heel. You've seen that match between Lacey Evans and Natalia. Clearly, both of them were heels on Monday Night Raw. That was the last man. That was the last one, not last man, but last women's standing match. That was the last women's standing match. And they booked a heel Lacey Evans versus heel Natalia. Come on, man. Are you fucking serious? They still going with this babyface versus babyface, heel versus heel dynamic. Are they serious with this fucking shit, man? Give me a fucking break. Nonetheless, this was a good match. I think it would have made more sense to have Jericho versus Moxley for next week. That would have made more sense to me, in my honest opinion. So the diving headbutt is one of those moves that is always going to remind people of a specific person. Oh, and you also got to remember, folks, I'm all about right calls. I'm all about decisions, and I'm all about creative. That would have been a better creative decision, having Jon Moxley versus Jericho set for next week instead of Jon Moxley versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan should have been the one to lose to Jericho. So in other words, Jericho should have been putting over Daniel Bryan. Jericho should have won that match. He's a heel. Daniel Bryan's a babyface. So clearly the heel should have been over the babyface. Chris Jericho should have won over Daniel Bryan. Not Daniel Bryan win over Chris Jericho. So what I'm saying is, it should have been Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho next week. But instead it's Jon Moxley versus Daniel Bryan next week. Whatever. They just need to stop doing this babyface versus babyface, heel versus heel dynamic, man. They need to stop doing this heel versus heel narrative bullshit, man. They need to stop doing that. That's ridiculous. That's going to draw audience away instantly. You're seeing how awful that match between Lacey Evans and Natalya was over on Monday Night Raw. You're seeing how WWE made one of the worst creative decisions ever by putting them WWE Women's Tag Team titles on the terrible Aaliyah and Smiling Raquel. You guys thought I was going to say Smiling Nightingale, right? Yeah, nice try. Nah. Not today. Sorry. Not today. Nah. Woo, man. So the Diamond Headbutt is one of those moves that is always going to remind people of a specific person. It might be better if everyone just left it in the past. This is referring to the Jericho-Danielson match. Jericho's triangle dropkick is one of his best moves. Now, he almost always hits his target dead center. Jericho has always had a good chop. He gets a nice pop out of it every time. Danielson's chest was very red. Ooh. Oh, man. That's kind of disturbing to hear, man. Or that's very disturbing to hear. It's very red as the show cut to a break. He is going to be feeling that for a day or two. Oh, yeah, you know he is. Now, Jericho trying to do the same elbows that the Blackpool Combat Club is known for, while Danielson just shrugged it off. That was a fun, amazing moment there. Very, very amazing moment. Like I said, I've said it a few minutes ago. I'm going to say it again. It should have made more sense. It would have made more sense for Jericho to win over Daniel Bryan than Daniel Bryan went over Chris Jericho. Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho is not a fresh new match. We've seen it before. We've also seen Jon Moxley versus Daniel Bryan before. So I still would have went with Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley for next week. That would have been a whole lot better. In my honest opinion, would have been the right creative decision, and it would have been the right call by AEW. Like I said, I'm all about rights. I'm all about decisions. I'm all about direction and all about creative. I just want WWE and AEW to do better, which AEW is doing better, and WWE is starting to slowly do better. Folks, this is the end of the AEW Dynamite review. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Did I go too fast? Did I go too slow? What? Now, before I get on out of here, man, I got a little bit of AEW news coming out of Dynamite to go over with you guys. So let's start with the news on AEW Grand Slam, because this is very important for people to know and for everybody in the community to know as well. So it says here that AEW is getting a lot of negative attention after the all-out media scrum brawl. CM Punk, Young Bucks, Ace Steel, and Kenny Omega are all still under suspension. However, good, get them out. Goodbye. You see what they did at All Out Media Scrum? They deserve it. You can't make this shit up. Seriously. Tony Khan is making sure that regardless, no AEW shows suffer in quality. Well, of course, the shows are not going to suffer with CM Punk, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, and Ace Steel suspended. I mean, look at all the other stars they got. They got Keith Lee, Isaiah Swerve in his glory. They got the Acclaim. They got the Varsity Blondes. They have Luchasaurus Jungle Boy. They have Christian. They have Chris Statlander, who's out with injury. They have Layla Herschel still out with a torn ACL. They have Red Velvet, who is still out with injury as well, I think. Thunder Rosa, you know. You got Tony Storm. You got Jamie Hayter. You got all these stars on the rosters, man. You got Brian Cage, who hasn't been used yet, who will be used eventually. Because that, I think, is going to be Powerhouse's next feud with Brian Cage. You got Ricky Starks. You got your Darby Allins. You got your Stings. You got your Buddy Matthews. Your Brody Kings. You got your freaking Julia Hart, for fuck's sake. You got your Sky Blues. Your Dante Martins, you know. Go. You know. Little John. Anyway. You got your Matt Sydals. I don't know what happened to Matt Sydal's brother. Maybe he retired from wrestling. I don't know. You got your Jay Lethal. You got your Jay Lethals. You got your... I'm not going to say Ryan Nemeth. Blah. Ew. Fuck Ryan Nemeth. I'm not going to say Ryan Nemeth. You got your... who else? You got your Dark Orders. John Silver, Alex Reynolds. Prince Vince 10. Evil Uno. You got your Jesus Christ. Oh, you got your Lance Archer. You got your Lance Archer. You got your I don't know about Santa. I'm seeing, man. I don't know. He's on the roster, but I don't know about him. You got your Nick Camarado, Anthony Ogogo, the two next big megastars in AEW. You got your QT Marshall, he's still on there. Aaron Solo's still on the roster. When is Aaron Solo going to get his big push, I wonder? We have not yet seen Aaron Solo get his push yet. What's going on with that? Aaron Solo is the next megastar in AEW too. He's young and he's being unutilized. He's being wasted on TV. What is he doing? What are they doing with this guy? I don't get it. Aaron Solo's got so much potential, man. How can you fucking waste somebody like Aaron Solo? I don't get it. AEW and Tony Khan. Come on. Get your fucking brains together, man. Seriously. You got Miru. You got your Mirus. You got your Jade Cargills. You got your Kiera Hogan. You got your DeMontes. You got your freaking you got that fucking terrible Emmy Soccer. I mean, I don't know why AEW saw somebody like that. But anyway, you got your Harushida. You got Harushida, Riho. We have not seen Riho for like the last 2-3 months. I wonder where Riho is. Why hasn't she been used on TV? You got Wheeler Yuta, Cesaro, known as Claudio in AEW currently. Jon Moxley, you got your Daniel Bryans, Chris Jericho's, your Sammy Guevara's. We just saw them on Dynamite. Man, Dynamite was a hell of a show this week, man. They killed it. You got the Lucha Bros. You got your Packs, AEW All-Atlantic World Champion. You got Hook, the FTW champion. You got all these stars on the AEW roster, man. So much more. There are so many on there. It's not even funny. But anyways. But as of late, folks, AEW has gotten a lot of negative attention after the all-out media scrum. CM Punk, the Young Bucks, Ace Steel, Kenny Omega are all still under suspension. However, Tony Khan is making sure that, regardless, no AEW shows suffering quality. The sales Figures for the upcoming September 1st AEW Dynamite Grand Slam are in. While they are not low by any means, it seems that AEW might not see a complete sellout for the show in Arthur Ashe Stadium. Now listen to this, folks. Hopefully some of you all are still here. Very important, man, if you're a wrestling fan. Very important if you're in the IWC community, man. Over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now, the current capacity for the show is capped at 14,556. Now, however, WrestleTax or WrestleTix, Ringside News, I tell you, one thing about Ringside News, how the hell does Ringside News have all these sources? I don't get it. How do they associate with sources like that, man? WrestleTix reported that they've only been able to sell only 11,453 tickets so far. Good God almighty. That is a whole bunch of fucking tickets. I would be tired after selling all those fucking tickets, man. I'd be like, okay, I'm going home. Oh, shit. That's a hell of a fucking lot of tickets, man. That is a huge number, man. 11,453. Holy shit, man. You can't make this shit up, man. You love to see it. Anyways, this still leaves out a pretty big gap of 3,113. Now, that don't sound like a lot to me. 3,113 tickets being available. Nah. 11,453? Shh, that's a lot. 14,566? That's a whole fucking lot. Okay, so AEW Dynamite has a pretty solid lineup for the fans to see. Though a new AEW World Champion is going to be crowned as well. Hopefully they can sell some more tickets for their big return to Flushing. I think they are referring to next week's episode of Dynamite, which they are, because I see it. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right again. Jeez, man. Doesn't it feel great to be right? Even JD says that on his podcast. It's great to be right, man. It really is. He's not. You can't make that shit up. He's not making that shit up, man. Even I'm not making it up right now. It's good to be right, though. Seriously. Okay, so there is some news on Stokely Hathaway stable. There's some news on the name of Stokely Hathaway stable. It was revealed during AEW Dynamite this week, which was last night. So, Stokely Hathaway led a group of men to attack the participants of the casino ladder match at All Out. Hathaway climbed the ladder and retrieved the chip and gave it to the mysterious Joker, who was later revealed to be MJF, which I knew. I was right. I was right on my AEW All Out watch along, man. I was right, dude. Do you know how many times I was right on my AEW All Out watch along? 4 to 5 times, basically. And that's when I started getting those negative fucking comments in the live chat by that fucking geek that I decided to block, that decided to create 4 or 5 counts just to comment wrestling's fake. Who does that? Comments like that gets people banned and permanently removed from the live chat. When we all know in reality wrestling is real and it's scripted. The stable was finally mentioned by their name this week. So MJF cut a promo during Dynamite this week to hype up his bitter feud with Jon Moxley. The Salt of the Earth claimed he isn't the same person Mox faced 2 years ago at All Out. MJF then introduced the fans to Stokely Holloway in the firm. Holloway came to the ring with William Marcy, Lee Moriarty, Ethan Page, and the Gun Club by his side. I wonder where Scorpio Sky is. Why hasn't Scorpio Sky been with Ethan Page? I wonder what's going on with that. I wonder what's going on with that tag team. Have they seemingly secretly broke up and AEW hasn't told us yet? Have they broke up and we haven't got news on that yet? Something right there. Why is Scorpio Sky not getting more TV time? What's going on? Where is he? Why is he just sitting in Titus Catering, sitting on the sidelines? Same with Brian Cage. Brian Cage should be getting TV time too. That's what I'm saying. Tony Khan's got so much stars, and there's yet not too many stars getting TV time. Tony Khan's gotta get his self together, man. Even though he made the right decision to suspend CM Punk, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks, he's got to focus on enhancing his roster, getting his roster right. Because now the roster is seemingly divided after that media scrum brawl. So, got to start getting everybody to get along again. Even though Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara squashed the beef, which I'm glad. Good. Awesome. At least they wasn't like CM Punk, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. Jesus Christ, they were fighting like 14, 12-year-olds out there, man. In that backstage brawl. Goodness gracious. Fighting like a bunch of virgin geeks, man. Out there. He hung MJF and told the crowd he convinced MJF not to quit. So Holloway hyped up the potential of his group, but know that they will only operate as a group if and when MJF needs them. Well, that pretty much confirms that. So, this stable name is the Firm. The Confirm wouldn't make sense, but the Firm? That sounds like a good creative stable name for this stable. It's not too bad. At least it doesn't give us a reason to shit on it. But what is y'all's take on this story specifically? Let me know in the live chat, or you can let me know in the comments below when the stream ends. We got some more news to go over, and then I will be getting the hell out of here so I can eat some ice cream, relax again, and get some damn sleep. Because I have to work today. Today is already Thursday. I gotta get my hair cut tomorrow. I think I got money for that. Ooh, haircut's like $20 now. Been $20 the past 6-7 months. Okay, let's move on to the news on the Warner Bros. Discovery. So, there was news on Warner Bros. Discovery, possibly including more wrestling themed shows under new leadership. Now, Warner Media saw a lot of unprecedented changes following the Discovery merger, and surprise, and that to some extent worried AEW fans. I'm going to take this news with a grain of salt because I don't know if I want to believe this news or not. But as previously noted, top executives were unhappy with MJF's promo during a previous episode of Dynamite. However, it appears that the new management is pretty content with the ongoing wrestling program and could very well introduce additional wrestling-themed shows in the near future. I wonder what the hell they're talking about, because I have no idea what the heck they're talking about right now. Hell, I don't even know what I'm reading. According to Deadline, TNT is shifting from their previous strategy of creating dramas with high budgets and Hollywood A-listers. Now check this out. How are they fucking going to do that? It's looking like they're going to be doing all this again. From reading this. So the network is looking to incorporate cost-effective strategies for both script and unscripted series. Okay. And it says here, and I quote, well then, TNT is now looking for more cost-effective series that don't go after a A-list movie talent. It would complement the tentpole sports unscripted programming on TNT, as well as the rest of Warner Bros. Discovery's suite of liner networks under Finch. That could include wrestling-themed shows, as AEW is a major draw on TNT, script series that have the feel of some of the signature Discovery docu-reality series, like The Deadliest Catch. Yes, I've seen that show, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, The Deadliest Catch, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it had some bad stuff on it, but it wasn't that bad. It was somewhat solid. But Discovery docu-reality series like The Deadliest Catch, IP-based genre series, also are being explored. End quote. Caitlin Finch, Chairman and Chief Content Officer, U.S. Networks Group, Warner Bros. Discovery, outlined her strategy for future unscripted programming on T-Nets, which consists of TNT, TBS, and True TV. And it also says here, and I quote, I've had some great meetings with agents and production partners to let them know that yes, we're finally open for business at TNT, TBS, and all the brands that make up the WBD US Networks portfolio. We spent the past few months evaluating content, our audience makeup, which audience groups want to grow, and what kinds of series we need to do that. Content teams are looking at both script and unscripted. They have already put some exciting projects into development. Once the details are signed, we'll be able to share more. But for now, the message we want to send the production community is that we're bullish on delivering great slates to the fans of these top 10 networks, end quote. That is what Caitlin Finch, Chairman and Chief Content Officer, had to say about that. So, AEW were previously told by Warner Bros. Discovery to tone down the amount of swearing on live programming. This news is not false. This news is factual information. This news is actually true. Even JD gave his audience the news on that. And he gave his thoughts on it on his podcast. Well, I remember that very well. We'll have to wait and see what the new network leadership has in store for AEW. So, honestly, I don't really understand this stuff as much. It sounds to me like they're doing all this stuff again from reading this stuff, you know. It's not often you understand news. Sometimes you'll understand the news, sometimes you won't. Sometimes it's confusing. Like now, reading this news article was confusing. I didn't understand this. I wanted to give you guys the news that you want to hear. That's what I'm all about. What are your thoughts on this story, guys, on the Warner Bros. Discovery, including more wrestling theme shows under new leadership. So, a former WWE star made his AEW debut during Dark Elevation tapings. So it says here that WWE let go of several people over the last couple of years. Now it seems that another former WWE superstar is coming to AEW. Jesus Christ. Tony Khan has got to stop with these fucking signings, man. You got too many talents on the roster as it is now. The men's and women's rosters is stacked. Enough with the signings, Tony Khan. And enough with all these titles being presented and introduced. We have too many titles, enough as it is now. We don't need any more. Just like you don't need any more talents. Use the ones you have right now. Because when you start signing more talents, they're going to be used, wasted, utilized, and kept in Titus catering forever until they request for their release. And then you're going to start getting mad and start denying their release. And then they're going to get mad and they're going to, I guess, file an order or something against you. Whatever they do when they don't get their request for release. Whenever the request for release gets denied. Now, this former star that made his AEW debut, it's none other than Grand Metalik. Grand Metalik wrestled in the finals of the Cruiserweight Classic, but failed to win the tournament and the Cruiserweight Championship. His loss, however, did not stop Triple H from signing him to a full-time contract. Metalik performed on the 205 Live brand before receiving his release papers in 2021. It seems that he's found a new destination. Good for him, but I don't think he's going to get used that much on TV. He might get kept in Titus catering just like he did in WWE, along with his buddies Kalisto and Lindsay Dorado. Bryan Danielson performed for AEW during the latest Dark Elevation tapings inside the MVP Arena in Albany, New York. PW Insider reported that Metalik, now going by the name Mascara Dorado, defeated Serpentico with Luther after a super kick and a Dorado driver. Metalik asked for his release. In the fall of 2021, the former 205 Live star and Lance Dorado were released from their contracts in November 2021. The two had approached the WWE with their release request after disagreeing with the finish to a match. Metalik reverted back to his Mascara Dorado gimmick and posted a new video to hype up his in-ring return in January 2022. The former Lucha House Party member squared off with Joey Janela in GCW as well. GCW happens to be a wrestling promotion. Now, what's your take on this story? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments below when the stream ends. There's some news on AEW booking more matches for Rampage this week. We're going to go over that. And then we're going to go over the last news for the last news of the day coming out of Dynamite, which is the news on a shocking crowd shot during AEW Dynamite in Albany that Tony Khan didn't want anybody to see. I wonder why Tony Khan didn't want anybody to see that. Is Tony Khan hiding something? I can't wait to go over this news with you guys. I may even give you my thoughts on this. I don't know. Kind of tired, to be honest. First, let's go over the news on AEW booking more matches for Rampage this week. This Friday, which happens to be tomorrow. AEW presented an action-packed edition of Dynamite from Albany, New York this week. The company booked new matches. I was going to say two. New matches for the September 16th, 2022 edition of Rampage during Dynamite as well. Oh, and by the way, Rampage was taped as well. So, AEW announced that Darby Allin will square off against Matt Hardy during Rampage this Friday. Here we go with the babyface versus babyface dynamic again. Here we go. Here we go with this terrible booking, man. I don't get it. I don't understand it. They're both babyfaces. Why in the fuck would you book a babyface, a top babyface versus a babyface? Why would you book the babyface versus a babyface for the next show? And on top of that, they booked the babyface versus babyface match for Dynamite. They even did it for Dark and Elevation. Oh my freaking goodness, man. They've got to do better with their booking, man. Seriously. They really do. AEW's got to do better. That's one thing AEW's got to do better on their booking. Their booking has been dog shit as of late. I'm not even going to lie. Their booking has been dog shit. They got to do better. Their producing and writing's been great. Their show's been great. Their booking, they got to work on it. It's got to improve. Because babyface versus babyface, heel versus heel is not going to give you audience. Babyface versus a heel is going to give you audience. That's how you get crowd reactions. That's how you get put over in a match. That's how you get more audience. Even good storylines, fresh new storylines, fresh new segments, fresh new backstage interviews. That's how you get fucking audience. New things. Imagine that, right? Fresh new freaking matchups, man. Jesus Christ. Fresh new creative ideas. Imagine that, man. You love to see it. You love to think of it, man. For real. I don't know why we are getting Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy for Rampage this Friday. I ain't gonna lie. Rampage, AEW and their Rampage shows have not been good lately. They gotta get better with their Rampage shows. They really do. Their Rampage shows have been complete garbage. They gotta get better. I'd say Dynamite wins over Rampage already, just based on the matches that they are booking from Rampage. And it says Ethan Page will take on Danhausen this week on Rampage. That's pretty much a rematch. Because do you know how many times we've seen that match? We've seen that match between Ethan Page and Danhausen like 2-3 times already. That's basically a rematch. Danhausen interrupted Page's promo during Dynamite this week, prompting All Ego to issue the challenge for a singles match. This week's episode of Rampage will also feature a Ring of Honor World Television Championship match between Samoa Joe and Josh Woods as well. That is going to be a banger. That's going to be great. And we already know Samoa Joe will retain over Josh Woods anyway. So, and then we got Willow Nightingale. wait. Smiling Nightgown. And now I went from saying Smiling Raquel to Smiling Nightgown. Smiling Nightgown. Woo, man. Willow Nightingale smiling all over the place. Man, great. Now she's acting like Raquel Gonzalez now. Great. Or should I say Raquel Rodriguez? She's acting like Raquel Rodriguez now. She's smiling like Raquel Rodriguez, man. You gotta love it. Great. That's probably where she got her freaking gimmick from. Huh. Wouldn't be surprised. Anyways, guys. I'm going to go over the card for Rampage this week. We got Samoa Joe versus Josh Woods for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. So again, Samoa Joe versus Josh Woods. for the Ring of Honor World Television Championship. Then we got Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy. Doesn't make sense. I don't know why. I don't know why they went with this match. And the match would be good. It creatively doesn't make sense. Got Danielson versus Ethan Page. Now that's a match that makes more sense right there. Willow Nightingale versus Penelope. That's a match that makes sense. Penelope's a heel. Willow Nightingale's a babyface. It makes sense. Legitimately. Danhausen's a babyface. Ethan Page, heel. Makes sense. Looks like these matches are going to be produced more than Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin. Fortunately. So what is y'all's take on the story, and what's your take on the lineup for Rampage? Do you think they should have booked a better lineup for Rampage? I think they should have booked a better lineup for it. I think they should have replaced that Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin match. That's the only match that should have been off the card. So only for them to add a new match to the card. Because babyface Darby Allin versus babyface Matt Hardy creatively makes no sense. Both guys are great, but the match makes no sense. Britt, that was a bad decision to be booking that match for Rampage. Anyways, guys, we have got to go over this news on the crowd shot, man. The news on the crowd shot during AEW Dynamite in Albany that Tony Khan didn't want us to see. We got to go over that, man. Holy shit, that was crazy. That was crazy. I don't know what the hell was going on there. So Tony Khan is not the one to shy away from hyping fan support for Dynamite. The AEW head honcho prompted the September 4th edition of Dynamite, which took place inside the MVP Arena in Albany, New York, which I already said. The crowd in attendance, however, was silent for most part of the night. A picture from the arena that found its way to social media showed little crowd during Swerve and Score's match with Penta and Ray Phoenix. Fans in attendance weren't particularly loud for the show's main event between Bryan Danielson and Chris Jericho as well. AEW camera, on the other hand, showed parts of the arena with the most fans in them. Big wrestling tail claims about fan attendance. WWE same approach. Obviously, AEW wants their crowds to look great on television. Things might be a different story if you're actually in the house. You might what the hell? What the man? I thought this news was on somebody getting shot in the crowd. That's what I thought when I read fucking news originally. Thankfully, it wasn't news on that. Thankfully. We wouldn't want nobody in the crowd getting shot. That would be terrible. And then Tony Khan would cancel the show and postpone it to next week. This news was a waste of time. Anyways, guys, that's all the AEW news I got coming out of Dynamite. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below when the stream ends. I'm getting the heck out of here. It is 12:36 a.m. in the morning, and I'm ready to get my ice cream out so I can eat it, brush my teeth, and get ready to relax in the bed. You go to sleep. So I can have enough energy to work today. Anyways, my Friday Night SmackDown September the 16th, 2022 live stream watch along is already scheduled for this Friday night. The card for that so far is Los Lotharios versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy versus... Damn, forgot. What's that other team name? God damn it. Damn that fucking other team name. Oh, the New Day. The New Day. That's right, the New Day. So, that's the only match that's booked for SmackDown so far. From what I've seen, anyway. I guess it's a fatal war. It's a fatal four-way top contenders match. I guess you can call it. Yeah, it's a fatal four-way top contenders match. So it's Street Profits versus New Day versus Alpha Academy versus Los Lotharios. That's the only match so far that's been booked for Friday Night SmackDown. I don't think anyone's gonna enjoy that match. I don't know how the fuck they're gonna write and produce that match. I mean, you know, Braun Strowman's gonna come out and ruin it again, like a fucking complete idiot. Braun Strowman is so stupid. He is such a stupid geek. Anyways, I'm getting out of here, man. I hope you guys have a safe Thursday, and I will see you guys in the live chat for Friday SmackDown. I did not get to stream today. I didn't feel like streaming any games today, man. I just wasn't in the mood for that. I wasn't feeling it. I was stressed out today. I thought I was gonna get a prayer from I thought I was gonna get a message from one of my coworkers, and I didn't. I haven't heard her respond back to him, but she did. Which that kind of really upset me. But I'm sure she'll talk to me. I hope she will. If not, fuck it. Fuck it, it is what it is. It is what it is. Really, I come there to work, not to talk anyway, so. But sometimes, if I feel like talking to somebody at work, I will do it. But if I don't feel like talking, I ain't gonna talk. I ain't gonna say it. That's how I am when I'm going to work. Anyhow, guys, have a safe Thursday, man. If you're off today, take this time to relax, rest, and enjoy life while you can, man. Because there's so many fucking violence going on, so many killings that's been happening the past few fucking days, past few months. People are going tyrant out here on a rampage for no reason. Innocent lives are being taken by people who don't care about human life or society at all. They don't care about themselves. So, have a great Thursday, and I'll see you guys in the live chat for not only Friday Night SmackDown, but I will see you guys in the live chat for that pod racing game that I'll be streaming this Friday afternoon before my Friday Night SmackDown watching. Peace and stay safe always. Most importantly, so. Alright guys, peace, stay safe. Always.